Welcome to Write Now Workshop Podcast, where you can write a book and change the world. I'm your host, Kitty Bucholtz, and this is episode 64, Need a Vacation? Coming to you on Tuesday, May 15th, 2018. Well, as promised, I'm giving you my update on getting back to writing. I told you a few weeks ago here on the podcast that I was going to set a date for myself. So you may or may not remember me saying that over the last 18 months or so, we have changed location about 6 times. I'm pretty sure that that is the correct number. We have not moved every 3 months, but we have moved, from here to here to here, just following John's job and, and then finding some place to stay and then finding another place to stay while we're in between jobs and that sort of thing. And even right now, we are in temporary accommodations provided by his company. So in the next 5 months, we need to find our permanent apartment. So we're going to move again. Yay! As you can imagine, that is a little bit tiring. Sometimes it's more than a little bit tiring, and it has kept me from having any kind of real and regular writing schedule because my life schedule keeps changing all the time. Now, on the podcast, I had promised that I would get back to work within 4 weeks after I moved to Sweden. So 4 weeks later was yesterday, May 14th. And did I get back to writing? I did. Yay. Now, there are more things that I'll talk about regarding my journey back into a regular schedule closer to the end of the podcast. But in general, I did tell myself, listen, you said you were going to write, so today's the day. But I also decided that since I have been wanting to do more and more dictation, that I would also get back into training my dragon. So yes, that is Dragon Naturally Speaking, or for me, it's Dragon Dictate for Mac. So I have been wanting to get better and better at dictation so that I can do that more, at least during, first drafts or rough drafts or whatever, anything that will help me to put words on the page faster and without having to type it, so that hopefully that will save my arms, neck, shoulders, the whole thing. I'm not a fast typer, so dictation is a huge, big deal for me. So for instance, yesterday, after 8 grueling minutes of long pauses as I tried to figure out what exactly am I trying to say here, I ended up with 563 words. So that probably would have taken me at least 20 minutes if I were typing it. They probably would have been better words because I'm used to typing my thoughts. It's harder to dictate something that's going to be written. I can talk to you in spoken words because this isn't going to be written down. I don't have to worry about punctuation. I don't have to worry about interrupting myself in the middle of a sentence because this is just the natural way that people speak. But to speak something that people are going to read, that's a little bit trickier. So I have to train my brain to do it, which is why I wanted to do that yesterday. So I'm actually quite pleased that I got over 2 pages of manuscript pages of typing done and that it took me less than 10 minutes. Yay. Okay. So let's get on topic because this is all going to swing back around at the end. Do you need a vacation? Now, there are a few different reasons why I'm asking. For one thing, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, the most obvious reason why you're thinking about vacations right now is summer. Yay! So maybe you have something exciting and terribly fun planned. There is a possibility, I don't know for sure, but there is a possibility that my husband and I will go to Paris to finally celebrate my birthday sometime this summer. So we'll see whether or not we can make that happen, which seems like a humongous big deal when I say it, with my American background and my American thought process and stuff. I'm like, Paris, that's crazy. But it's actually less than a 2-hour flight from Sweden, so it sounds far less crazy when I say it from here. Maybe you have plans with family. I know a friend who goes up to visit her family in Canada every summer. I have other friends who go to other parts of the United States to visit family who live in other areas. My husband and I, of course, have done that many times. Maybe you have plans with the kids, some amazing, big, cool thing that the kids are involved in. Maybe a robotics competition or some other kind of sports competition or something. Or you're going to do the cool, relaxing staycation. You're going to stay at home and just have some time off from work and maybe do some things around the house, maybe go to the beach or have picnics or, do whatever it is that sounds relaxing and fun to you. So that's the one thing that is probably on most people's minds in the Northern Hemisphere is summer's coming. What am I going to do for vacation? Now, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you've recently finished summer, and depending on where you are, you had an amazing Indian summer as well. So I hear it from my friends in New Zealand and Australia. So you might be thinking, I am so over vacation. I need a vacation from my vacation. Or perhaps you're thinking, I love my kids. I would do anything for them. And yet I am so glad they're going back to school. And maybe you're thinking, thank goodness kids get to go to school, so I get to have a vacation from my kids whom I adore. I have heard this. I have heard some of my mom friends talking like this. So maybe that's your idea of a vacation, just being able to get back to kind of a normal rhythm, which depending on where you live, that rhythm kind of comes and goes right now because like my friends in Australia and New Zealand, they have term breaks in between terms for school. So there'll be a week or two off every, 10 weeks or something like that. You can tell I don't have kids because I was barely paying attention. Anyway, so you might have these mini vacations in mind that you're looking forward to being over. Sometimes what you need is a break before a big push. Maybe soon you're going to be starting a new book and you're like, okay, I just need some time and space and something else in my mind. I need to fill my creative well and get all ready. So I'm going to do some vacation-y like things, some taking break type stuff before I start the big push towards a new book. Or maybe if, like at my husband's company, they have some deadlines coming up. And so they asked everybody, can everybody please take their vacation between this date and this date? Because we need to make sure that we meet this deadline before the time that we're saying you should take your vacation. And then we need to meet another deadline that's after this window. So they're really encouraging everybody to take their vacation in this little window. It's not that little a window, but because they have some deadlines on either side of it that they need to meet. So that's another reason that you might be thinking about a break or a vacation. And sometimes, like with me, you just need a break. As it turns out, I told myself I would give myself 4 weeks to get settled, get the paperwork finished that needs to be done, get all of the, legal and whatever stuff done. And then I would have a little vacation for myself, maybe 2 weeks. And then I would be refreshed and feel good. And then I would get back into writing. And I would have all of this creative energy and emotional and physical energy. And it would be great. Well, it took me 4 weeks to do all that paperwork, and it was exhausting. And there's still stuff that hasn't been done that some of it kind of has to do with moving. Some of it's just stuff that I've been trying to force to happen over the last, 6 moves. So you move in and out of countries, there's paperwork that needs to be done. There's taxes that still need to be done. Not to go into detail, but oh my gosh, I'm like so over trying to get taxes finalized in a country we no longer even live in. So it's just, I am tired inside of my head. My head has no more room to do any more things. So that led me to another thought. You know how one of our writing techniques is to figure out what our character thinks they need, and then our character will decide that's their goal. And that's, the story goal for the character. But what we know as the person creating the story is that there's what the character thinks they need, and then there's what the character actually needs. So this is my thought to you and to me. What do we think we need, and what do we actually need? Because I thought what I needed was a week or two of lying on the couch watching movies that I hadn't been able to see because they're like chick flicks or something that John doesn't want to see. Watching some movies and reading, finishing a few books, going for some walks, and just going, life is good. Okay, wow, I have all this energy now. Let's go write. But it turns out I don't think that that's actually what I need. I think what I actually need is a deeper level of healing and trying to get back to like a nice base foundational place where I am my real, joyful, bouncy, gregarious self on more of that 24-hour basis that I've in general been used to in my life, and less of the cranky, tired kitty who has been coming out way too much the last few months. I'm just noticing like how bone tired I was, and thinking about, when was the last time that I had a real break? It's so long ago, I can't even remember. Like a couple of years at least, probably before John's motorcycle accident at least. And that was 4 years ago. So it's been a while since I've had like a real restful sort of break. Not that there haven't been, good days, tons of good days and more good days than any other kind of days, but that's not the same as finding like a place of rest where you really feel like your soul and your spirit and your body and your mind and your emotions are all, coming back down to this nice calm center. And that is something I haven't had for a while. So then it occurred to me that Netflix can't do that. So while I'm sure that I will watch some chick flick movies and read some books, what I'm realizing now is that that's not the kind of vacation I need. I need the kind of restful break that really brings me back down into myself. And so for me, that's going to take some time talking to God, reading my Bible, trying to remember, like, how do I get back that peace and joy again that I'm, sort of like the squirrel in Over the Hedge when he drinks the caffeine. I've just been everywhere and doing everything and getting it all done. And then now I'm just like kind of coming down from that caffeine high and whew. Like, what do we call that? When you're on a caffeine high and then you come down, it's you're all thinking it. You're thinking it and I can't think of the word. Crash. Yes. Thank you. I feel like I'm sort of in that crash state now where I just need to kind of let my system equalize again. So give some thought to where you are. Maybe you are super excited. You've got this big vacation planned. And so some of the things that you need to decide are, am I going to take my computer? Am I going to write? Am I going to give myself a word count or a minutes or hours or whatever count that I have to do every day? Am I going to take my computer, and if I am motivated and feel like it and, feel like I have all this creative energy that needs its outlet, then I will write. Kind of depends a little bit on where you're at inside of your head and your heart, and also where you're literally going to be at. So maybe you'll be someplace without an internet connection, in which case you could get a lot of writing done because you wouldn't be able to surf the web. You wouldn't be able to post to Facebook and Instagram. I've been in that place before. Sometimes this is a really great writing place. So think about where you are. What do you need? What do you think you need? And then give it a little bit more thought and ask yourself, what do you really need? What kind of a break do you really need? What would be good and healthy and just really build you up? Can you find a way to have that kind of a break? Either for, seriously, even for an hour, it can make a difference if you're in a place like I've been where like you don't have a day or a week, but you might have an hour, and it might really be what you need to keep on going if you're on some sort of craziness schedule. Or maybe you can work something out between your family, friends, whoever you're usually hanging out with, and find some ways where this is time that you get to do what you need, which maybe that's writing. Yay! Maybe that's some sort of other kind of rest. Or maybe what you really need is to be with family, like really be with them and not be thinking about your business and not be thinking about your writing, and to truly be in the moment with them. And I know you know what I mean, because sometimes we're with them physically, but our minds are someplace else, which is why my husband so often says, okay, dial back into this earth, kitty. Dial back into our reality. You're not with me here. So give it some thought. I hope that you find something that works for you. As for me, I am backing out of my, I'm committed to get started back into writing every day, Monday through Friday, starting Monday, May 14th. That is gone now, and I will replace it with something else as soon as I know what that something is. In the meantime, I am going to go walk outside in the sunshine and remember what it is that I like to do for fun and for play and things that make me laugh and feel like so full of creative energy and kind of get that back into my life again. And I have a feeling that the writing will just sort of naturally fall out of that. I mean, that's what usually happens with me. So this morning I was thinking about my my New Zealand friends will think this is funny. I came up with a story idea there that was a group of women from a Bible study who discover a dead body and it becomes like a cozy murder mystery sort of thing. And, it was the body on Thingy Beach. Yes. And I should tell you more about that sometime. I had a series that I was going to be sending to a publisher who was looking for Australian rural romances. And so it was kind of, Australian cowboy-ish sort of, and some rugby stuff and, things that I remembered from my time living in Australia. So that kind of came to mind a little bit. I was thinking about my Traverse City in Love series and the 2 or 3 books that I have the stories all in my mind and I just want to sit down and write them down. And the next book in the Strays of Loon Lake series. And I've been working on putting my bullheaded superhero Valentine into print, which made me, I love these characters who are all my superhero people. So I need to write their next book too. So it's not like my brain has stopped working on writing stuff, which makes me feel way better. I think I just need to find a place of quiet and foundation and peace and joy. And I think part of that is just going to be from reading. Man, I haven't sat down and just read for hours until yesterday. I've been reading book 3 of, what's it called? The Farseer trilogy, I think. Starts with Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. Oh my gosh. And now I'm on book 3. Let's see, Royal Assassin was book 2, and book 3 is actually underneath my computer that's holding up my computer so that I can do this on YouTube as well. Anyway, oh my gosh, it felt so good to read 100 pages in a row without having to stop and do something else. So what do you need? Maybe that's what you need. Maybe you need to be able to sit and read for 2 hours. Well, think about it. I really think that this is going to be helpful to both of us for our writing careers because we need creative energy and we need that vivacious joy of our storytelling in order to really write amazing, great stories. So have a great week. Think about this. Think about it. I'll be thinking about it. And on Thursday, we will listen to Laura Drake tell us how to make our first 5 pages really pop. So that'll be lots of fun. I will see you then. And again, have a great week. I hope that you're having a wonderful bit of weather wherever you are, or that whatever bad weather that you're having will soon be followed by wonderful weather. I'm having wonderful weather, so I'm going to go outside and enjoy it. All right. I'll talk to you later.